Okay, math intervention peeps, here we go. I'm trying this for like the third time. Let's hope the third time is the charm. So, we're doing some notes. So, you've got your notebook. Okay, I've just got loose leaf paper. And if that's all you have, then you can just put it in a binder when you're done writing. But, here's our notes. So, we're going to label these. This is going to be math research, one and two. Okay? So, pardon me. Basically, our focus is going to be on like three different things. First, we're going to look at rounding. Okay? Rounding numbers. Okay? And what we have to remember is, remember place value. Okay? And also, remember the rule or the step. And that would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? I write this when I need to pay attention for rounding. So if my number, the place value place that I want to round to is a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 next to it, not that number, but the number next to it, then one of these numbers, this means I stop and leave it alone. If it's a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 next to it, then I'm going to round my place value that I'm at up. And this is how it works, okay? I'm just going to do a couple of examples. So if I'm going to use the number 31 and 459 1,000ths. So let's round to nearest whole number. Okay, I'm going to use black here to change this. Round to, and then so in purple, the nearest whole number. Well, my whole number would be this one. So I put a line under it. Now, I'm going to stick a little arrow and it tells me I'm going to look at the next number. Okay, and I know that I'm looking at the whole number because there's my decimal, so I'm at the ones place. So, the number next to it is a 4. Looking at my chart, 4 says to stop and leave it alone. So that means I'm going to do 31, and that's my answer. I ignore all of that right there. Alright? Now, I'm going to round to, whoops, boy, can I spell? Nearest maybe I can make this a little bit bigger for you. If I can zoom in just a little bit more. How's that? A little better? Alright. So, nearest hundredth. Well, ones, tenths, hundredths. So that's that one. And this is why I like to use different colors. Besides that, it makes my notes look really cool. Okay, so I'm going to look over here. The number next to that is a 9. In my chart, that tells me I'm going to go up. So I'm going to change this 5 because it's in my hundredths place. I'm going to go up to the next number. So my answer is 31 and 46 100ths. Okay? So just a reminder, that is how we round our numbers. All right? Now, the next thing I want to look at is division. I know we love division. It's so much fun. We're going to talk about division of decimals. Yay! Okay, division of decimals. What I want you to remember is never divide by a decimal. Okay? So what I mean by that is if I have 100, if I have a pen that works, maybe not. Let's try this one. If I have 100 and I divide it by 25, that's easy. 25 goes into 100 4 times. That's 100, and there we go. That's our answer. But what if I have something like 3 and 52 100ths, and I'm going to use that, divide 523 and 27 100ths by 3 and 52 100ths, okay? This is what I'm talking about. Never divide by a decimal. What you need to do is because I have tenths, hundredths, multiply by 100. And if I do it here to this number, I have to do it what's inside as well. So multiply this one by 100 and then multiply that by 100. So if I do this, I've got 352 times 100. 2, 5, 3. And then because I've got 1, 2 decimal places here, I have to go 1, 2 decimal places there. Oh look, now I've got 352. And then I'm going to take this one, 523 and 27 100ths times 100. 1 times 7 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 5. And then I've got my 1, 2 places here. So I'm going to go 1, 2 places here. And now inside I've got 5, 2, 3, 2, 7. And that's where my decimal is. And then I would just do the regular division like normal. Okay? Remember, I multiplied by 100 because I had 2 decimal places. I remember it in my brain because 100 increase. Okay? So let's say that there are 237 students in the 6th grade last year. All right? And that's one fact. The next fact is the population increased by 14%. Okay? My question is, how many 6th graders are there now? I'm going to give you a sec just to catch up, because I know it's not easy to copy. We have 237 students in 6th grade last year. And when we totaled it, we found that we had 14% more. The population of the 6th grade had increased by 14%. So there are two different ways that you can do this. One is a one-step and one is a two-step. Okay? To do the one-step, I need you to understand why it's done that way. So I'm going to do the two-step one first. Okay? Our two-step way to solve this. If I have 237 students, I want to know, first I have to take my 14% and turn it into a decimal, which means I move my decimal over 2 places, and that's my decimal equivalent of 14%. Because remember, percent means per 100, and that's 14 100ths. So I have this. So if I multiply, take my 237 times, this is my increase, this is going to give me an answer of how many more. It does not tell me how many total I have. It tells me how many more do I have. 14% of 237. Okay? 14% of 237. So I'm going to find out, if I were to ask you what is 14% of 237, that's what we're going to find. But that's just the first step for finding answer of how many 6th graders are there. Because this is going to tell us how many more than 237 do we have. Then we have to add that answer to this to get our total. That's our 2 steps. Okay? So let's do the math. 4 times 7 is 28. 12, 13, 14. 4 is 8. 9. So done my 4. Person, a whole person, I'm going to round it here to the whole person. So I look at this number, and remember, we did all up here. 1 tells me I'm going to leave it alone. Right? So this is my two-step solution. I found how much 14% of 237 is, and then I added it to my 237, so I got my 270. Okay? The one step, and it took me a long time to understand this. I'm going to show it to you, but it may not make sense, and that's okay. For years, I did it like this. And then one day, I don't know, even when I was probably in my teens, maybe even my 20s, I don't know. But I oh my gosh, I totally get that now. Okay? Brain is still growing, guys. Still making connections, so don't freak out. This is the one-step method. This, I start with my 237 students, and I want to find what the increase is. I've got my 0.14 here. I know that that's my decimal. I want to include 237, because when I did the decimal, I only got those 33. But I include the 237 and 13% increase. What if I multiply 237 times 1? What do I get? 237, right? So what if I multiply 237 times 1 and 14/100ths? Yeah, it's a little more math. Usually you would be doing this probably using a calculator in the world, but I'm also checking to see function in dividing or multiplying decimals. So we do this. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14, and there we did our 4. So now we put our 0 and we move over here. 7, 3, 2. We've done that one, so we put 2 zeros because we're moving over 2 places, and then a 7, a 3, and a 2 again. Now I can add these together. I get 8, 11, 9, 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2. And now I've still got 1, 2 decimal places. So I'm going to do this. 1, 2 decimal places. Oh, look at that. I got 270, which is 270 here. And I got 18,100, which is that 1,800 that we just kicked out of there. 270 students in 6th grade this year. Okay, so I got the same answer, and only because instead of multiplying, doing 237 times 14/100ths, I did 237 times all of it and the 14/100ths. Using that decimal in your brain and thinking "and" really does help. Okay, so I'm going to expect to see these notes, and if you have your notes done for the next class, you'll get your 15 bucks. See you later, alligator.